Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful product philosophy that came to life back in 2025 with a tool called Verity. And look, this isn't just a story about code. It's about obsession, it's about flawless execution, and really what it means to build software that actually honors a user's belief in what they're doing. But before we get into all that, let's start with a feeling. A feeling I bet you've had whether you're deep in crypto or not. Why is it that the most powerful digital tools so often leave us feeling, well, just scattered and exhausted? It was that exact question that really sparked the whole idea for Verity.
All right, let's get right into the core of the problem here. See, back in 2025, crypto didn't have a power problem. Not at all. It was liquid, it was expressive, and it was just brimming with potential. The real issue was this kind of hidden tax, this invisible friction that was silently draining every single user's most valuable resource, their conviction.
So what was this tax? It came from something called context switching. Think of it like this. You're trying to cook a complex meal, right? But your recipe is in one room, your ingredients are in another, and the controls for your oven are all the way down in the basement. You'd spend more time just running between spaces than you would actually cooking. In crypto, it was exactly the same. Your wallet's in one app, your analytics are in another, you trade on a third platform, and all the community chatter is scattered across a dozen different feeds. Every single time you jump between them, your brain has to totally reset. And that mental cost, it adds up, and it adds up fast. And this right here, this is the human cost. The team behind Verity completely zeroed in on this one powerful idea. That friction, it wasn't just annoying, it was actually destructive. It was the very thing that made a great idea, a really strong belief, just kind of fade away before you ever had a chance to act on it.
Realizing that was the turning point. The Verity team understood they weren't just trying to solve a software problem. No, this was way deeper. They were facing what they called a human systems problem. And that required a completely new philosophy for how you even build tools in the first place.
And what did that actually mean in practice? Well, it meant their product roadmap wasn't driven by novelty, by adding the next shiny feature. It was driven by coherence. They stopped asking, what else can we add? And started asking, what's making our users hesitate? They became obsessed with all those tiny moments of friction and doubt that just kill momentum. So this new philosophy led them to their first, really radical decision. Verity wasn't going to be just another app. No, it had to be an entire operating system. And this wasn't just some marketing buzzword, it was a fundamental choice about how the product was going to be structured from the ground up. This visualizes that shift perfectly. On one side, you've got the total chaos of bouncing between all these disconnected apps, constantly losing your train of thought. And on the other, you have Verity's approach. A single, immersive space where your context is always there, waiting for you, and all your tools live together. It actually created a place where you could finally think clearly. And they made this real with some serious engineering. We're talking a full-blown window manager. You could drag, you could layer, snap windows, just like on your desktop. System-level controls. And this seamless environment where all different kinds of apps could live side by side without ever breaking that feeling of immersion. This wasn't built to look flashy, it was built to feel, inevitable. But building a whole OS? That was only half the battle. For the Verity team, performance wasn't just some feature to optimize later. It was a core design ethic, right from day one. They held this radical belief that speed is actually a moral issue. They argue that a slow, laggy system does more than just annoy you. On a subconscious level, it's sending a really clear message. Hey, hesitation is safer than action. Lag introduces doubt. It breaks the trust between you and the tool, and it forces you to second-guess your own conviction. This whole philosophy translated directly into how they wrote their code. They didn't just try to make things faster. They completely re-architected the system to prevent slowness from ever happening. So instead of loading huge data sets all at once, which causes that initial freeze, they streamed the data in as you needed it. Instead of those clunky, jerky UI updates, they use these smooth, efficient animations that just feel fluid. And they localize state, which is really just a technical way of saying they stopped one small part of the app from throwing a tantrum and freezing the entire system. These were deep, fundamental engineering choices. The outcome of all this relentless focus wasn't just a product that felt fast, it was a product that felt calm. It created an environment where you could actually focus on your decision, not on fighting with the interface. It literally removed the anxiety from the system.
And this philosophy of creating a calm, frictionless environment, it extended to the apps they built inside Verity too. These weren't just collections of features. Each one was designed around a very clear user intent, creating these guided paths to help you get from A to B without any of the noise. The AirDrops app is a perfect case study. The intent is super clear. You want to claim this AirDrop. So the team just anticipated every single point of friction, checking eligibility, connecting the right wallet, signing the transaction. Then they built this beautiful guided path that just walked the user through each step, making a really complex process feel simple and totally secure.
So, after a full year of this obsessive human-first approach, what was the result? I mean, what did Verity actually manage to achieve?
By the end of 2025, Verity had crossed this really critical threshold. It wasn't just a powerful idea anymore about how crypto should feel. It was now a real, working environment where users could act with way more speed and way less stress. They had actually closed the gap between their ambitious idea and a living, breathing product. And this is the ultimate takeaway. This is what all that work, the OS philosophy, the obsession with speed, the intent-driven apps, what it was all for. They had successfully shortened that critical, fragile gap between having a belief and actually acting on it.
Now let's be super clear here. The goal was never to remove risk. Crypto is inherently about taking intentional risks. The point was to build a system that respected a user's conviction enough not to let it die because of some clumsy interface or a slow loading screen. It was all about honoring the user's agency. So this leaves us with a final question to think about. Look at the tools you use every single day. Are they just throwing more features at you, or are they truly designed to close that distance between your intent and your actions? What if every tool we used was built from the ground up to respect our conviction?